So how can you best serve? So this is going to be an amalgamation of all the things that we talked about, right? It's your why, the greater call, which is going to point you to your zone of genius, the who, which is going to create a little bit, well, actually even more specificity, the business astrology and your application of your 80-20 rule is going to show you what the numbers are revealing about what people are really wanting from your business. Not from you. You're different from your business, which is why your business has its own separate business chart. But what's really needed by your market from the business versus you, and how you can best facilitate that transformation. So the transformation is going to be pointing back to the vision and the mission, because ultimately where you want people to land, again, with whatever they're experiencing from your product or service, that has to point back to your vision and mission, i.e. why you're serving and who you're serving. So think about that for a second. Where you want people to land, what experience do you want them to have once they engage with your product? How do you want their life to shift? What experience do you want to give them? Same thing with the service. What transformation are you providing? What facilitation into something new? Like what is that? And is where they're landing tying back to where you start? Yeah. We got a great question. Would the business natal chart show what service or type of service that would be best to serve? Yes, for sure. So there's a couple of things that come up. So the specificity around the type of product or service and delivery of that for the client definitely can show up. But like with every natal chart, there are money houses specifically as well. So that can give an indication of various ways that you can generate money, not only main streams of income, but additional streams of income as well too. So, you know, with all things though, whether personal chart or business chart, building up the main streams of income is actually going to be the most important, and that is what I prioritize in my coaching, because this is another thing that gets into people's revenue blocks, is they immediately go into, I want to have multiple streams of income when they haven't mastered one stream. If you don't know how to handle and grow one stream, you can't be a good steward for multiple. And if you develop a strong single stream of income, it necessarily will actually start to branch out and to create other streams. It will naturally evolve. And depending on what planets or north node, south node transits might be happening in the chart, there may be specific times when you would be best served as a business owner to lean more into trying out a different revenue stream and seeing what hits. There are definitely times when that's going to be encouraged, to see like what's going to land with the market, to start to open up something new. You know, it's just going to depend. But yeah, the business chart is going to show you everything, just like your personal chart will show you everything. But again, like I said, your business chart is different from your personal chart. Just because you are experiencing a certain kind of thing or going through a certain type of thing does not mean that that's what your business is going through, or that's what it needs. So being able to really create some objectivity and separation, and taking yourself out of the mix, and instead being like, okay, this is my pet or this is my child. How do I best need to create an environment that's going to be supportive for my pet or my child? How can I give it what it needs? What do I need to put in place so that it can develop the way that it needs to develop? Like, that's how you would want to approach it, in my opinion. So So yeah, business chart can tell you all the things. And that's actually what's really nice about it too, is because, you know, you don't have to keep trying to remember the specifics. Like, the chart is going to be the chart. And for the way that I work with my entrepreneur clients, your chart will stay the same until there's a new kind of business that's birthed, meaning the imprint that it has shifts because there's a new registration with the state. So when you go from sole proprietor to LLC, the creation of an LLC would be the creation of a brand new chart, because there's a brand new stage of the business, and what it needs at that stage and what it has become is going to be very different than what it needed as a sole proprietorship. But even with that being said, it's still going to be congruent with the vision and the mission, but it's going to refine and tailor to, now that the business has evolved into this way, how can it can show how you can go even deeper and create a bigger impact with that versus what you had available to you with the stage of the business that it was when you were a sole proprietor. And, you know, with business, I mean, people aren't really like changing their type of business all the time. So realistically, you most likely are only going to make a shift once, if any. You know, if somebody just started out with an LLC, like, they may honestly just stay as an LLC, there won't be a shift. But for those of us like myself who started out as a sole proprietor, the chart that I had as a sole proprietor shifted when I registered a business, and it became an LLC. And later on, if I decide to establish a corporation, I have no idea, but if I decide to do that, then that registration will create its own natal chart. But that's not really on my mind. I'm not, my goal isn't to create a new type of business. My goal is to be a good steward of my business as it is now.